சார் வணக்கம் சார். இளங்கோ வணக்கம். இளங்கோ
மேம் வணக்கம். மேம் வணக்கம். மேம் வணக்கம்.
வணக்கம் இளங்கோ
சார். வணக்கம்
மேடம்.
சார். வணக்கம் சார். வணக்கம் சார்.
வணக்கம் வணக்கம்
வணக்கம்
சார். வணக்கம் சார்.
Good morning all.
Happy Environmental Day to all.
Good morning to all. I wish you World Environmental Day to all.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, good morning. Good morning, sir.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Madam, good morning, madam. Good morning.
So, dear staff coordinators, ask other students to join through YouTube streaming. So, as the meeting is full, we have only 100 limit. So, I have given the YouTube link. Kindly ask them to join in the YouTube link also. Hi, sir. I'm trying to join. Bhavani, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, Surya also there, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Few more minutes. Let principal sir and
Okay, ma'am.
chief guest join. Sir, ask the students to join through YouTube link, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, all of you.
நீ இதுல இருப்பியா?
A few more minutes, we'll start.
I am from Carmel College, Mala, Kerala.
Yes,
Our
ma'am.
students cannot join through this link.
Yes, ma'am.
What we will do?
I have given YouTube link, ma'am, for joining. You can ask your students to join through YouTube streaming, ma'am.
Where we can see that?
I have posted in chat box, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Bhavani, you can start.
Okay, ma'am. For most of history, man has had to fight nature to survive. But in this century, he is beginning to realize that in order to survive, he must protect it. A very good morning to all. I, Bhavani Krishnan, final year biotechnology student from Nehru Arts and Science College, Coimbatore, wholeheartedly welcome each and every one of you to this wonderful occasion. Today is June 5, World Environment Day. The theme this year is Reimagine, Recreate, Restore, as this year marks the beginning of the United Nations Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. We are rapidly reaching the point of no return for the planet. We face very serious environmental emergency, including biodiversity loss, climate disruption, and escalating pollution. For too long, humanity has cut down the Earth's forests, polluted its rivers and oceans, and plowed its grasslands into oblivion. We are ravaging the very ecosystem that underpin our society. And in doing so, we risk depriving ourselves of the food, water, and resources we need to survive. The degradation of the natural resources is already undermining the well-being of almost 40% of mankind. Our planet needs our help. We still have the time to reverse the damage we have done. That is why, on this World Environment Day, we see the start of the United Nations Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. This global movement will bring together governments, businesses, societies, and civilians in an effort to heal the earth. The task is monumental, but accomplishing these things will not only safeguard the planet's resources, but will enable a beautiful life for the future generations as well. Reports show that the next 10 years are our final chance to avert a climate deadly tide of pollution and end species loss. So, let's today be the start of a new decade, one in which we finally make peace with nature. Let us start this program by seeking the blessing of Lord Almighty. I invite Ms. Surya Prabha, final year biotechnology student from Nehru Arts and Science College, for prayer.
हमको मन की शक्ति देना, मन विजय करे, दूसरों के जैसे पहले खुद को जय करे। हमको मन की शक्ति देना, भेदभाव अपने दिल से कर सके, दोस्तों से भूल हो तो माफ कर सके, झूठ से बचे रहे, सच कदम भरे, दूसरों के जैसे पहले खुद को जय करे। हमको मन की शक्ति देना।
Today, we are gathered here to celebrate World Environment Day as a part of the International Eco Club Student Chapter under Nature Science Foundation, Coimbatore. Nature Science Foundation is an NGO under Nature Science Foundation Public Charitable Trust, functioning energetically to conduct different awareness programs and implement various schemes to public and school or college students towards the noble cause of nature protection. The main motto of NSF is to save the nature to save the future and go green to save the planet. NSF has recently established international Eco Club student chapters at various schools, colleges, and universities across the world to create awareness on the environmental protection and COVID-19 pandemic's management. I now call upon Ms. Kavimala S., Student Coordinator, International Eco Club Student Chapter from Nirmala College for Women, Coimbatore. Welcome address.
I request all the students and student coordinators to on their video for a photo.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, you're audible. Okay. So I request everyone to on your video for a photo shoot.
Do not start your day with the broken pieces of yesterday. Every day is a fresh start. Each day is a new beginning and a chance to begin our new life. Good morning to one and all gathered here. Many of you have made a huge effort to join us today. On behalf of us all, we are deeply appreciative and offer you our most grateful welcome. First of all, I am very thankful for giving me this opportunity. I am very happy to extend my welcome to our resource person, Mr. Anoop Vijayan, Director, International Relations, Nature Science Foundation, at presently in Apricot Towers, Dubai, Silicon Oasis, Dubai, U.A.E. I welcome you, sir. I extend my principal, Nehru Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. I also extend my cheerful welcome to the Nature Science Foundation, organizer and its members, and International Eco Student Chapter of Nirmala College for Women, Coimbatore, Nehru Arts and Science College, Coimbatore, SNMV College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, KSR Institute of Engineering and Technology, Tiruchengode, Sree Ayyappa College of Eramallikara, Chengannur, Kerala, Sree Venkataramana Swamy College, Vidyagiri, Bantwal, Karnataka, Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, Carmel College, Mala, Kerala. I extend my grateful welcome to the students, faculties from various institutions and universities who are here for Environment Day celebration. It is a day to make people more accountable for the environment. We are all linked with the environment. It seeks to generate responsibilities towards the environment. We breathe only because our elements in the environment are supporting our metabolic process. It is not yours nor mine. It is ours. So let us put our hands together to nurture the nature so that we can have a better future. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you and have a fabulous day.
Thank you, Ms. Kavimala. Leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. I now welcome one such leader, Dr. B. Anirudhan, Principal, Nehru Arts and Science College, to deliver the presidential address and share his views on the World Environment Day and how to conserve nature. Sir, please.
Good morning, all of you. Am I audible properly?
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you. First of all, my greetings to all of you, especially the young children on this World Environment Day. And my congratulations and deep sense of gratitude to NSF for having thought of such a wonderful event, making it happen through the children, the youth of this world. So my appreciations to International Environment Club Students Chapter, all the children who are on this platform and viewing it through the YouTube channel as well, that you are conscious about the environment, but then the damages that we have been doing to this nature. When we talk about nature, it does not mean that what we see, or it is just does not mean that only the Earth, the entire galaxy become part of it. So this is moving on an equilibrium. The entire galaxies or the universe is moving on an equilibrium, and wherever the equilibrium is disturbed, damaged, the whole ecosystem will show imbalance and it will react at the tempest of it. So we take care of preserving certain things, or we feel that we have to conserve only for two reasons. One is we want it seriously. Second is for two reasons. One is we want it seriously. Second is we disturb it seriously. Otherwise, we don't care. Why should we care to see that something is being taken care of? Anything that we think of taking care only because of these two situations. Either we disturb it or we want it seriously. Anyway, in this context, I would like to appreciate Bhavini, who's connecting all of us together as an MOC, and Surya Prabha, who has led all of us to the divine spirit, and Kavimalar, who has given the welcome address. So you are going to shoulder the responsibility of holding this world up, not the city of Coimbatore or Tamilnadu or India. Rather, you are going to hold the responsibility of taking care of the entire environment, entire world, or the universe as such. That's why the youth have become powerful. So we have been doing it, or we have done it when we were also youth. Then our teachers used to tell us, our principals used to tell us the youth can do a lot of things. So when we were youth, the issues were different. When you are in your youthfulness, the issues are different. So preservation comes only when there is a question of disturbance, or there is a question of serious need or want, as I've told you earlier. It's become very easy. If you do not disturb, there's no question of taking care of it. It will be on its own. So be it nature, be it your own body. If you take care of your body, you will be healthy. If you do not take care of your body, you are going to panic. You are going to have some disease. So this is how it is. Your home, your society, and up to your universe. This is a very, very small thing. Like virus, it is very small in nature. The catastrophe that we are facing, it is very small in nature. They can be, or nature can react in it. Stay well, stay safe.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. I now invite Ms. Atulya, Student Coordinator, International Eco Club Student Chapter, and Research Scholar from Nirmala College for Women, Coimbatore, to introduce today's resource person, Mr. Anoop Vijayan.
Thank you. I take an immense pleasure to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Anoop Vijayan, Director, International Relations, Nature Science Foundation, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. He is a sustainability project management professional with over 16 years of experience, driven by integrity and strong ethical principles. Areas of his expertise and experience include sustainability, sustainable development, environmental health and safety, energy efficiency, stakeholder engagement and management, board and team leadership, environmental management system ISO 14001, ISO certified environmental auditing, environmental waste management, sustainable procurement ISO 20400, project management, corporate social responsibility, sustainable business, strategic planning and integration, climate change and greenhouse strategic planning and integration, climate change and greenhouse gas reduction, social responsibility ISO 201, and infrastructure and community sustainable design. His educational qualifications include Bachelor's in Mechanical Engineering and Master's in Environmental Science. Apart from these, he has pursued several professional development programs such as WELL-AP certification from International Well-Building Institute, LEED AP certification from U.S. Green Building Council, Estudima PQ Well-Building Institute, LEED AP certification from U.S. Green Building Council, Estudima PQP PBRs, PCRs and PVRs from Abu Dhabi Urban Planning Council, IGBC AP certification from Confederation of Indian Industries, Chartered Engineer at Institute of Engineers India, Certified Engineer of Dubai Municipality, IDHSC Level 6 Diploma from European Safety Council, and Econox Professional Certification. He has served as Energy Manager at Middle East Center for Sustainability, Manager at Platinum Development International Dubai, and currently is working Project Director of Dingity Supervision Services for Great.
Yes, sir.
So it's in full screen mode now. And thanks again to all the participants for eagerly waiting for this event. And today's session will be on environment conservation and management. Wishing everyone happy and like pleasant World Environmental Day, and hope everyone will be taking some initiative like planting trees or like planting saplings on this day to like mark your journey towards like environmental conservation and protection of the environment. I will begin with a small definition on like what is an environment. So environment means anything that surrounds us. So it can be biotic or which is living, and like non-living, which is abiotic things. It also includes physical, chemical, and other natural forces. Components of the components of the environment are mainly divided into these two categories, biotic and abiotic category. Biotic, as informed, like it includes all the living organisms like animals, birds, forests, insects, reptiles, microorganisms, bacteria. Abiotic environment include non-living such as air, cloud, dust, land, mountains, rivers, temperature, humidity, water vapor, sand, etc. So these are basic components of the environment that keeps the nature in an equilibrium. So it is not only one factor, as highlighted by Dr. B. Anirudhan. If one parameter is disturbed, the entire cycle gets disturbed. Importance of environment. Environment plays an important role in healthy living and existence of life on planet Earth. Earth is a home for different living species, and we all are dependent on the environment for food, air, water, and other needs. Humanity's entire life support system depends on the well-being of all environmental factors, and therefore it is important for all individuals to save and protect the environment. So the message here is very clear. It is our moral responsibility to bring in all initiatives, either by youth or like any generation who is currently living in the planet, to protect the environment at any cost. So this year's Environmental Day will be like on various international platform itself. The main theme of the Environmental Day would be on ecosystem restoration. And it will also focus on resetting our relation with nature. It also marks the formal launch of UN Ecosystem 2001-2030 vision. So many countries across the globe, like whether it is in U.A.E. or like whether it is in the Middle East market or Europe, Americas, so they have a vision, Vision 2030. So they have a lot of initiatives which has been planned for Vision 2030 in terms of like environmental climate change mitigation and bringing in sustainable developments. Whatever development they are planning for on Earth, it will be all inclined towards a localized rating system or a universal rating system. About the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, United Nations General Assembly has declared the year 2021 through 2030 the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. Led by the United Nations Environmental Programme and Food Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, together with the support of partners, it is designed to prevent, halt, and reverse the loss of degradation of the ecosystem worldwide. It aims at reviving hundreds of millions of hectares covering terrestrial as well as aquatic systems. A global call to action, the UN Decade draws together political support, scientific research, and financial muscle to massively scale up restoration. During the hashtag Generation Restoration, the UN Decade is galvanizing a global movement in which everyone can contribute to the mission. Visit the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration website to learn more. So basically, these are information which is easily available in the internet. What I'm speaking is nothing new for the professionals who is already in the industry. So you have everyday alerts and podcasts and news coming in like various platforms, YouTube's, Twitter, and where there are initiatives and like where there are like sessions which emphasize on this UN as part of their Vision 2030 needs to restore ecosystem restoration. Environmental conservation is protection and preservation of natural resources from destruction, wastage, or loss. And it all happens when there is effective planning and control of the process and activities that cause deterioration of the environment. Environment conservation is the protection, preservation, management, or restoration of natural environments and the ecological communities that inhabit them. And conservation is generally held to include the management of human use of natural resources for current public benefit and sustainable social and economic utilization. As known to everyone, is the main parameter that most of the organizations across the globe, they are focusing. So anything that is like there is a natural generation of this natural resources which is being used either for construction sector or like any other sectors, the people are trying to optimize it or bring in more policies and procedures where they can enhance or like they can do some additional research wherein they compromise or divert from using the natural resources. Anything from overpollution, hydrological issues, ozone depletion, global warming to deforestation, desertification and pollution, all these issues pose severe threat to the existence of mankind. The environmental conservation is a practice that paves the way for protecting the environment and natural resources on the individual, organization, as well as governmental levels. I just wanted to come back to this slide. The main thing which I need to highlight here is that it says on like individual initiatives, organizational initiatives, and governmental initiatives. So I would like to stress to any of the government department, like when there is a push or when there is a mandate, when someone mandates it, all authorities or like any governmental organization, they are ready to fulfill this requirement. A simple example is a green building regulation that we practice in the Middle East. So since 2007 in Middle East, all buildings coming up has to undergo their own rating system or US green building rating system. So that's in where the building permit was linked with the green building approval mechanism, wherein the green building consultant prepares a green building package and submit it prior to getting the building permit approval. So this is due to the government mandate that people are strictly following it. So again, like I wanted to say that government initiatives are well in place, but how far it is communicated, what is the awareness level of people on this? So this is a critical factor that will lead, according to me, that's my outlook on bringing in a sustainable change. The mandatory or how the local government or the central government mandates it, that is a key in like bringing in positive change. Importance of environmental conservation to reduce air, water, and land pollution, to facilitate the conservation of natural resources for future generations, to ensure the protection of biodiversity, to implement sustainable development, to restore the ecological balance, to save our planet from harmful repercussions of global warming, to protect endangering species of plants and animals from becoming extinct. So this is the main factor why we need to conserve the environment. And the next slide shows like methods for environmental conservation. And one parameter is forest conservation, of course. Forest conservation is a practice of planting and maintaining forested areas for the benefit and sustainability of future generation. Forest conservation is with the forests that are beneficial to both human and the environment. And forests play a vital role for human life because carbon sink, produce oxygen for existence of life on Earth. So they are rightly called as earth lungs. Helping in regulating hydrological cycle, planetary climate purification, water, providing wildlife habitat. 50% of the Earth's biodiversity occurs in forests. Reduce global warming, absorb toxic gases and noises, reduce pollution, conserve soil, mitigate natural hazards such as flood and landslides, and so on. So most of this will be part of your which is there in most of the syllabus. Any graduate level program, these are basic things that will be covered in part of your syllabi. Forest cover is depleting rapidly due to the main reasons such as expansion of agriculture, timber plantation, other land use like pulp and paper plantation, urbanization, construction of roads, industries constitutes the biggest and serves threat to the forest, causing serious environmental damage. Afforestation is among the core environmental conservation and aims to plant more trees from cutting, as trees plays crucial role in maintaining the ecological balance. So these are interlinked slides, which says that whatever is the existing nature cover that has to be protected and ensured that I think most of the continents have a local zoning requirement where they have categorized the urban developments and where they have categorized in the rural area or like the forest area. So we have stringent regulation for like maintaining this cover permanently and enhancing whatever is currently available. So afforestation, there is a principle like I think afforestation. I think in India also there are many other technique for bringing in natural or like bringing in a rapid increase of the forest cover. But Miyawaki method by a Japanese botanist, Akira Miyawaki, that helps dense and native forest in a very short time. So what he does, he germinates the seed in a nursery. When 2 to 3 leaves are sprouted, move the seedlings in pots until their roots group together, designed to cut over 60% of sunlight for more than 1 or 2 months. After that, it is cultivated to cut again like the sunlight for around 40%. That is again 1 to 2 months. Once the saplings grow, they are again moved to an existing forest and given some basic support for a period of like 1 week and 1 month. And after that, the plants again like the maintenance continue for the plants for at least 1 to 2 years. The forest, existing forest, and then there is a principle that no management is best management. So this is how, and this has increased the forest and the forest cover in a very rapid time. Ideally, for creating a dense forest, it takes around 200 to 300 years, roughly. But in this method, we can have dense forest in around 20 years. That's this Miyawaki principle or Miyawaki technique. So people all across the globe, the continents are following this method. So this is just the process which I mentioned. That is a revolutionary concept of urban reforest. This method includes important that you should have a native and adaptive plant species that will grow in that particular area, consuming low water as possible in the same area with not only save space, but the planted saplings also support each other in growth and block sunlight reaching the ground, thereby preventing the growth of weed. The saplings become maintenance-free, self-sustainable after first to ensure that resulting plantation. So this method creates forest in like 20 to 30 years compared to conventional method, wherein like it takes same like for planting. Soil conservation can be carried out by ensuring minimal use of fertilizers and venomous chemicals, as well as abolishing the disposal of harmful industrial waste to the soil. It plays a pivotal role in soil erosion, land degradation, and floods. So once the trees are in, that holds the soil firmly and will prevent all these things which is mentioned in this slide. And most important, we should avoid using harmful chemicals or like venomous chemicals. Soil loss is not only a problem for the farmers. With the loss of organic matter and fertilizer, soil conservation practices are tools the farmers can use to prevent soil. These practices include crop rotation, reduced tillage, mulching, cover cropping, and cross-slope farming. So these are certain farming practices that we already have in place in our country. I don't have a specific photograph of this farming practices, but I think we all know what is crop rotation and like reduced tillage and like mulching and cover cropping. We need to ensure that the fertile layer has to be maintained and the erosion of this layer has to be what you call these for the plants or mulching and like crop rotation here. Not very cross sloping and farming and covered crops. Okay, so the purpose of soil protection is to ensure a cover of organic material or medium for the plant growth. If the plant grows, automatically the soil cover retains and the erosion. Very critical parameter is waste. Around one biggest parameter is the waste that is being generated in all the aspect of our process and the business that is been operating. Waste management mainly covers recycling and reuse, waste removal, waste treatment, waste transportation, storage and collection, and landfill disposal. So this will be the concept we'll be focusing. According to UN CEP, every year an estimated 11.2 billion of solid waste are collected worldwide. The increasing volume and complexity of waste associated with the modern economy is posing a serious risk to ecosystems and human health. Poor waste management ranging from non-existent collection system, pollution, water and soil contamination. Open and unsanitary landfill contribution to the contamination of drinking water and can cause infection and transmit disease. The dispersal of debris pollutes ecosystem and dangerous substances from electronic waste to or industrial garbage put a strain on the health of urban dwellers and environment. So this shows what problems that we are having in terms of managing the solid generating concession waste. So again, as I mentioned in my initial slides, a government mandate would be resolving all these parameters. Especially in India, we have a lot of plastic junks, which is being pushed from the European market. The Asian market is fully, due to which the plastic waste are mostly diverted into ocean. So the ocean is like mostly contaminated. And there are a lot of other parameters for dumping this waste into the ocean. One such parameter is lack of recycling facility or the capability of getting all the waste recycled. Practically, recycling is possible only for 10% of plastic waste that is being generated globally. I would like to emphasize on solid waste management, on whatever is the color code of waste skips that is being maintained. In concession field, we do have waste management for concession and demolition of waste, which is part of materials and resources in lead rating system, where we need to ensure that the major waste that is being generated during concession has to be segregated at site, and whatever is possible to be diverted for recycling or like reusing at the same site or like other neighboring sites, it should be done. So 75% is the threshold for getting this done for lead credit. Proper segregation in terms like when it is an international market, when you segregate a waste, they do have the signages mentioned in different languages saying that this is concrete waste, this is wood waste, this is steel scrap, and aluminum waste, glass waste, plastic or packing waste. Similarly, when a building comes into operation, we do have a provision for having or like diverting or like managing the operational waste, mainly the kitchen waste, I can say, or the food waste, whatever is coming up in the kitchen. So this has to be in different color coded plastic bins where you have a system to collect it and give it for recycling. Ideally, in India, I think we have a common collection, or like we will be mostly dumping it, or we'll try to like just divert it in some sewages where we don't have an option or someone coming and collecting it. as I pointed out, the government mandate would rectify all these issues. So color coding, what happens like certain bins, like for example, yellow or green or blue. So these are codings like where they are giving to identify whether it is recyclable or like non-recyclable. What is the color for the food waste? All these things will be understood by a recycling or a waste haulage company that will come and collect the waste from your premises. And similar measures have been like it's a great opportunity for like people working in this sector for managing e-waste, which is a global issue currently. And there are measures for like sequestering or like managing and like recycling all the e-waste across the globe. Similar things happen for hazardous waste. Whatever is the waste hazardous generated in any operation, there is a separate management for this kind of waste or a treatment process for this kind of waste until it can be freely released into the environment. The solution in the first place is the minimization of waste. Yeah, first of all, our main target should be to reduce waste. See, if we have waste, we have to manage it. So the principle is reduce maximum waste. That is 3R. That should be part of our life. Where waste cannot be avoided, recovery of materials and energy from waste, as well as remanufacturing and recycling waste into usable products, should be second option. Recycling leads ton of paper recycle, 17 trees. Recycling creates job. The sector employs 12 million people in Brazil, China, United States alone. Not only these countries, which I mentioned here, there are other countries also which is taking it very serious, and it is creating a lot of job opportunity. And I see India is one such potential market where this can lead to a lot of employment for the youth, so like who is in the industry. Next slide would be on pollution control. Pollution control is any practice that reduces, eliminates, or prevents pollution at its source. So means less waste to control, treat, or dispose of. And less pollution means hazard posed to the public health and less hazard posed to the public health and environment. Okay, there are many sources of air pollution which you can see from our daily routine. It can be from the vehicle, it can be from natural calamities. All these things are like parameters generate, create air pollution. Control to an extent, vehicle pollution of vehicles can be controlled to an extent by like walk, either by bicycle or carpool or using public transport. And engine norms on and most of the country they have adopted adapting electric vehicles on a global. Many people are giving rates or tax rebates on for purchase of electric vehicle, and free parkings for this vehicle on public parking area or in the malls where you are using the electric vehicle. Promotion is more problem which we are facing. It can be to an extent prevented by proper disposal of water from major industries. Another method is to avoid use of harmful pesticides, wherein these pesticides are drained to the water body. There is a promotion or public awareness by youths or students or colleges. People take it college life or in our student life. We can do a lot of initiative. Like our Eco Club by NSF is one such initiative which we have jointly thought of, wherein like there can be more number of student partnership. And NSF is more than happy to support any clubs, and membership details were explained in our 5-day lead auditor course, which was held for last 5 days. It concluded yesterday. The program was a big success, and we got a lot of appreciation from the participants who had dedicatedly participated all the 5 days. So what I want to say is that the youth or the young generation should take initiative for cleanup programs, or like whether it is bringing awareness on waste management, whether you have an industry visit wherein like you inspect what is a waste management process, or you have a conference or seminar with eminent people or government people who is into the regulatory department of waste management, and say what is your initiative. Like there are a lot of other government agencies or like wherein you can register yourself and you can win a lot of prizes for this initiative. I mean rewards for this initiative. Biodiversity conservation. Environmental management can be classified as management of interaction and impact of human activity on natural environment. Environmental management is defined as a system that incorporates a process for summarizing, monitoring, reporting, developing, and executing environmental policies. The aim of encouraging an environmental management system is to ensure the healthy state of our planet for future generation. It also works towards preserving all forms of life. So the key thing here is again, we must not disturb our current equilibrium, and it should be passed on to our future generation, wherein they can sustain comfortably and like it can ensure that all forms of life survive on this planet. Need for environmental management for use of resources to overcome environmental and ecology crisis, for sustainable development, to reduce disaster, to decide the limiting line between environment and development. So this is why we need or we are seeking for a environment management. Just going back to the slide, this slide says environmental management system. So ISO already have international standardized, International Organization for Standards. They do have ISO 14000 for environmental management. There are a lot of subclause or sub-standards for encompassing this ISO 14000. That was presented in our yesterday's, our 5-day lead audit report also. For use of resources, the resources are limited. If you don't use them properly, they will get exhausted very soon. And for appropriate and reasonable use of resources, environmental management is necessary. It is our basic responsibility to create an accurate coordination and equilibrium between our needs and procedure of environment. The exploitation of mineral resources is one of the serious challenges to degradation of environment and ecology. The economic growth and development of country depends not only on the resource management, but also on the environmental management. It says basically the slide is like highlighting like the resource has to be protected in all means. The natural resources has to be protected. To overcome environment and ecology crisis, an ecology crisis occurs when changes to the environment of a species or population destabilize its continued survival. Some of the important clauses include degradation of an abiotic ecological factor, for example, increase of temperature, less significant rainfall, increased pressure from predation, overpopulation, and the present development has reached a point where environment and ecology are in crucial crisis. If the same continue, then it will create a disastrous effect on the environment. The whole Earth is going to be destroyed. So to overcome, the ecological crisis, it says about like the species, what are the species on Earth has to be prevented. One or the other way, one species is going to support the other species. So whatever, we have a global list of endangered species, and we know which species are already endangered and what impact it has caused. So there are a lot of UN programs to conserve this species. There are other bodies like World Forest Forums and other NGOs who is taking initiative for preventing this loss of species. For sustainable development, environmental sustainability is concerned with whether environmental resources will be protected and maintained for future generation, and environment management is required for development without destruction or overuse of natural resources and to reduce pollution and degradation of nature. Considering the welfare of future generation, proper decisions regarding use of environment are necessary. So what is required for environmental sustainability is nothing, a shift to renewable resources. That is limited use of non-renewable resources. Renewables, like it can be solar, it can be wind, tidal, all these things are coming under renewable resources. Protect health of ecosystem, avoid ecosystem being irreparably damaged. Avoid excess pollution. Pollution can cause damage to health and Earth's atmosphere. Target welfare, not GDP. Another important. Most of the people are now running behind to increase the GDP. I mean, most of the economies, I mean. So the target should be more on social welfare than for GDP. Make economic decisions based on long-term consequences. So these are intergenerational decisions. So any decision made by our government should not be affecting our generation, which is going to be there here in another next 20 or like 50 years. So this speaks about sustainable development. To reduce disaster, environmental management reduce the risk of disasters like flooding, forest fire, earthquakes, desertification, transport accidents, global warming, etc. We need to explore the link between environmental systems and disasters, and also the synergies between man-made and natural disaster. So definitely, for natural disasters, the cause might be, to an extent, we are saying it is human cause. But whatever is the human cause, like what caused destruction to the environment, has to be prevented. So this in turn acts on the environment, and it acts on bringing in like a lot of, you might be aware of the recent floods and the storms and the glacier being separated in Antarctica. All these things are a part of the environmental destructions that we have brought in until this time, and it will have a long-term impact. To decide the limiting line between environment and development. Environment management is essential to draw a line of limit for development and environment. For example, if our development needs to lead to global warming or depletion of ozone layer, then we must not use the material and modify our way of development. We may adopt the policy of afforestation. Yes, same principle which I had mentioned previously. Anything that will cause any harm to the environment, or like that will bring in any negative impact to the environment, has to be mitigated. We always have a alternate path or alternate method to bring in any development, like whether it is in recycling or whether it is in using any virgin material for construction, or like whether it is compromising that material for other material that can bring in lesser impact, similar kind of things. So in everywhere, I can say it is as a value engineering in terms of environmental management. Environmental program in India, National Council for Environmental Policy and Planning was where our development does not have any impact on climate change. Again, NSF is conserve the nature and save our future. That is our motto. And we strongly believe that any change that we want to bring in the society, or like whether we want to bring into our nation, is from the youth and from the students of our country. And you are the right people to like bring in positive change, bring in news, bring in the media attention, where all any of your initiatives have been recognized, and you have a global recognition as well. And definitely these all platforms that is currently, I don't know whether you guys have thought about a sustainability profession. I'm a mechanical engineer basically, and like I never had a intention to like involve directly into sustainability. But having spent 16 years in Middle East, I have spent most of my career, more than a decade and a half, into green buildings and sustainability, where I have been given and exposed, or like various global across the world. I had participated for like international seminars and like webinars into sustainability, USGBC programs, training sessions directly by United States Green Building Council, commissioning, and the initiative by other NGOs which are there in U.A.E. And all these things will had paved my career into a sustainability professional career. And I wanted to assure you that there are a lot of opportunity in this field. When you see it as it should be a profession, and definitely we need to have a way of life for our livelihood. So sustainability can be initiative which will bring good to the environment. At the same time, you can have a professional growth also in this field. So with this, I thank you all for your time which you have given to me, and I wish everyone, starting from today, understand the severity of damages that we have caused all this, and like at least you people will be taking an initiative to, after hearing the session, to plant saplings or something by your principal or your department or your club in your school. The messages are on to the society for like managing the waste, which is very important. Development for the country is being planned for like maybe another 20-30 years. There's a development that is going to be that is going to happen in the country's plan for all the nation across the globe, and you can fit into all of this. So that lies where lies the opportunity. It is waste management, or where it is to bring a recycling center within your where you international organization where you have an opportunity to do 100% recycling with some patented products or additives that will make from 10% to like 100% recycling possible. So these are a few messages which I wanted to convey, and hope the faculties or your head of department also will support you in all this initiative. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful session. The platform is now open for discussion. If any of the participants are having any queries or anything to discuss, please unmute yourself and ask to the resource person. Or you can also post in the chat box also.
Participants, you can ask your queries. You can unmute and talk to the resource person.
If the participants are having any query, sorry to interrupt, Sharanya, you can send in emails to linked with your projects or something linked with your trainings or the sessions that you are going to, or seminars or whatever, like industrial visits or something which you are planning to have in future. You can write to us in the NSF email ID, and we will be answering all your queries, and we will be supporting with whatever document or like whatever information that we are having with us. Thank you.
Sure, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving on. On this occasion, let us all take the green pledge and abide by it. I request everyone to take the pledge along with me. Green pledge. I will not cut trees. I will not use plastic bags. I will not burn plastic materials. I will not destroy the natural resources. I will not eat carbonated soft drinks. I will not use aerosol products. I will not discharge pesticides. I will not use light sources during the daytime. I will walk in the early morning to inhale fresh air. I will plant more medicinal plants in the surroundings. I will reduce the use of petroleum products. I will service the automobiles regularly for energy efficiency. I will condemn all vehicles for cleaner environment. I will reuse the sewage water for gardens. I will maintain proper rainwater harvesting system. I will avoid stagnant water around the buildings to prevent mosquitoes. I will divert the kitchen waste for manuring purpose. I will use rechargeable batteries and CFL lamps for energy savings. Save the nature to save the future. Go green to save the planet. I now call upon Ms. Yarini, Research Scholar and Student Coordinator, International Eco Club Student Chapter from Nirmala College for Women, Coimbatore.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
The root of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation. Dalai Lama. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks for this World Environment Day celebration organized by Nature Science. Can you hear me? I got some clashes in my net.
Yes, now. You can go ahead.
Appreciation, Dalai Lama pledge to propose a vote of thanks for this World Environment Day celebration organized by Nature Science Foundation, Coimbatore. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making this event a resounding success during this pandemic situation. With a grateful heart, I sincerely thank all the Nature Science Foundation Trust, administrative and staff members for organizing this World Environment Day celebration event to enhance the Mother Earth and its sources. I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Anoop Vijayan, Director, International Relations, Nature Science Foundation, Coimbatore, for gracing this occasion with his knowledgeable and informative talk on environment conservation and management. Thank you, sir. I extend my gratitude to Dr. B. Anirudhan, Principal, Nehru Arts and Science College, Coimbatore, for delivering the presidential address. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt thanks for the International Eco Club Student Chapter of Nirmala College for Women, Coimbatore, Tamilnadu, Nehru Arts and Science College, Coimbatore, Tamilnadu, SNMV College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, Tamilnadu, KSR Institute of Engineering and Technology, Tiruchengode, Namakkal, Tamilnadu, Sree Ayyappa College, Eramallikara, Chengannur, Kerala, Sree Venkataramana Swamy College, Vidyagiri, Bantwal, Karnataka, Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, and Kamal College, Mala, Kerala, for their contribution and support throughout this event. I owe a special gratitude for the MC desk and the student coordinators of